Hello and welcome to Roll to One, your choice for fun people and great games. So we're playing a game. It's not Dungeons and Dragons. It's this super cool game. So without further ado, we're going to get ready for tonight's episode of Whispers of Old Harbor. So after the mayor had been found dead in the Waterford Manor, the four of you are determined to get to the bottom of what happened. After a series of interesting investigative techniques, we've arrived in the main ballroom. Don't worry. The one you believe to have murdered the mayor is Julian Van Pelt, and he is now unconscious, having taken a lunge over at Sammy Accardiano, which is a bad choice. He is the least wealthy member of the, or least wealthy family, the patriarch of such family, and he is unconscious. So, what do you do?
I am scribbling down all this stuff for the paper the next morning.
Yes, remember you're surrounded by a considerable amount of people who are all like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And we're just kind of.
I'm going to check on Julian, and then also call over Dr. Hastings. Like, hey Doc, can you come over here and check him out?
Does he still have the knife in his hand? Or the dagger?
Yeah, when you're unconscious, you drop whatever you're holding.
I also kicked that a little bit away.
All right, just slides away. Sammy is rubbing his light gash. Dr. Hastings walks over. Yes.
Hey, Doc, can you check on Julian really quick, make sure he's okay, and then after that, take care of Sammy over there?
Yeah, of course, sure. So he goes down and investigates the body, the person, the living being. I'm just recalling. It's been a long time for us, maybe only 2 weeks for you since we played last. So you punched him multiple times?
Just once.
Just once, and he was dropped. Mm-hmm. So if I recall, he lunged at you, and you just went, whoa, and he just dropped, and that was the end of his. Consciousness, yeah.
Not life.
No.
No.
Not this time.
Not yet.
So, I'm just going to get my, yes. So, yeah, he's unconscious, and the Walter walks over, and he determines that, yes, he's been knocked unconscious by a fist to the face, as we all witnessed. Mm-hmm. He's okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
well,
Doc, are we good here? Do we think that this is it? Did we figure it out?
Sammy, it's way too early to determine that. Evidence is kind of damning, I admit, but we need to check.
No, I understand.
Also,
I understand. I get you.
Yeah, hey, Doc, can you also check out Sammy's arm?
Yeah.
If you just want to make sure that he's good, and do you have any bandages on you that we can help fix up Sammy?
Yes, he says yes, of course, and he applies basic first aid, healing your one harm.
Yes, praise the Lord.
You're welcome.
Well done.
Gotcha.
Okay, so also walking over is the police chief, a larger man, Calvin Strongwell, and he says, well, and he pulls off his handcuffs and just, while Van Pelt is laying on the ground, and then like pulls him kind of backwards.
You want help, Chief?
He's a bigger guy, but he accepts the help as he pulls him back. You grab the other arm. You both pull him up, and he's like, and he's not going to be up for probably a night.
Gotcha. As I watched them doing that, because I assume they're taking them where
I don't know.
Hey, Chief, where are you taking Mr. Van Pelt?
I think he's gonna spend a night in jail.
Probably a good idea. At the very least, he assaulted Mr. Cardiano over here, and there may be more charges that we can apply to him later.
And, Mr. Accardiano, I'll be making a visit, probably tomorrow. Don't leave town.
All right.
After that, I'm going to go over and look at the dagger.
All right.
So I'm going to, I guess, investigate the dagger.
So I will say, in the midst of this, you grab the dagger, and it is now in your possession. Certainly, yes, go ahead and investigate a mystery. It's likely going to be the optional rule of asking a random question. So go for it.
10.
10.
So that's 2 questions, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can hold those for kind of as long as you need, but yes, you can ask a question.
Right. Can you describe the dagger?
I will describe the dagger for free.
Okay.
The dagger is in front of you. It is a gold kind of outline of a kind of a, what's the word? A royal blue velvet in the handle of it, kind of towards the bottom. And then there's a golden pommel and kind of a golden curvature, almost Arabic inspired. As the dagger comes out, it is a silver steel color as it comes to a point, but there is a slight kind of divot on the side that allows for an additional cut method should you want to use that. But it has a slight curvature towards the end.
Okay. So
The sheath is nowhere to be found
Okay.
right now. But yes, the dagger itself, you see. There are some markings, but they have since been, I guess, kind of wear and tear. This dagger seemingly has seen some use, which is odd given its ornamental nature.
Okay.
So yes, now you may ask a question to find additional information.
Gotcha.
And of course, you can ask questions about kind of the various states of the dagger, as well as kind of anything near the dagger, right? So it's seen some use. Can I estimate? Whatever. You can ask things about the dagger in general.
Okay.
And not necessarily just, can I investigate the marking closer?
Right,
you have an idea about more than that, you can do that.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. You said that there were indistinct markings. Is it a recognizable language?
It is a script that resembles a desert Arab style text, right? A close examination with a linguist would give you further information.
Okay.
But for now, you determine that it is that kind of script.
Gotcha. And this is not a question, but just from the observations, it does have some of Sammy's blood on the blade, correct?
There is a bit of now drying blood upon the southern portion of it, right?
Yeah.
If this is the angle, it's just on the bottom edge. Barely caught him.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Just want to make sure it's not like absorbing blood or anything like that.
No. Hey, that's a fair question.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You never know what we may come across.
Yeah.
You never know.
Okay. And then I think I will hold onto the second question
Sure.
for the moment.
Strongwell does look at you and says, I assure that you're going to take that back when you're done with it for evidence.
Yes, sir. That was definitely my plan. Obviously, we will eventually return it to Mr. Waterford, but this will be taken into evidence, and I will just talk to him about that.
He nods, and he walks over towards the door that your boys have on lockdown. Sammy.
That's Chief is walking that way.
Chief Strongwell is walking towards the double door that would allow entry into the manor.
Hey, Chief.
Huh.
One second, please.
Sure.
Just wait, and I'll just walk past him.
Okay.
Gentlemen, stick my head out the door.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Because the door was chained, so you can't fully open it, correct?
I don't think we chained it.
I think they were just watching. Don't
Oh,
remember.
okay,
It's
okay.
fine for the
I
sake
don't-
of narrative. Maybe they have like there's like a bat in the way, and you're like, hey, and then
Yeah.
they take it out and they go, yeah, okay, sir, fine. They move out of the way.
Take note of everybody that leaves if they're in a not nervous mood.
All right.
Thank you. All right, Chief, you good?
And he goes, thank you. Don't leave town. And he walks out in the front of the way, and he looks at your boys and goes, don't leave town. Don't leave town. And he continues walking out,
As people are still kind of
holding Mr. Van Pelt, and he shoves him into his car.
do I see any of, like, is there anybody that is particularly I want to observe the crowd. I want to see people's reactions to Van Pelt's actions. I want to see if anybody is like shocked, if anybody's just kind of like, oh, well, no surprise there. Act of desperation of a high-end society, whatever.
Yeah,
I
okay.
just wanna get a
Go
read of
ahead
the crowd.
and read a bad situation. You can use the investigative mystery template should you need to ask a strange question.
Okay. That is 13.
Great. Yeah, you get 3. I mean, literally, the 12
Yeah.
plus is like applied here. You
Yep.
can ask the
Yeah.
keeper any question you want to know.
Yep. Anybody that came with Van Pelt, are they shocked, or are they just kind of like, okay, whatever? Like,
So Van Pelt had a number of people with him.
Yeah.
He arrived with his daughter, who was betrothed or potentially betrothed to Mr. Somers, Peter's son, the mayor's son,
Yep.
Arthur, and he is looking over there. But the young woman is there, the daughter, as well as a number of the help.
Yep.
Did he just come with one daughter or 2 daughters?
I don't recall which one I said
Okay.
a while ago, but
I had a note from last time that he has 2 daughters. I'm not sure.
yeah, we'll say both are there.
Okay,
I just
yeah.
know the older one is the one I'm referring to.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, no,
Respect.
well, that's good.
yep.
Okay. And what is their kind of? I guess this will count as the second question.
Well, no, what, that was me just telling you who's over there.
Okay.
What's your real question?
What is their reaction to the situation?
They're in shock at their father's exit. However, the younger of the 2 daughters seems to be more distraught as the older sister is speaking to her and the help, now taking semi-control of that group of people now that Julian has left the building.
Gotcha.
So she seems to be capable, which is your newfound information.
Cool. I've got 2 more.
Sure, you can hold them, you can use them, but basically you must use these questions on the crowd.
Yeah. Is there anybody in the crowd that does not appear to be surprised by Julian's actions? Or does not seem surprised by the situation at large?
The situation, I will say that of the characters of note,
Yes.
the only one that does not seem to be reacting in a way that would lead you to believe that they are shocked by the situation is Marcella. and she is the account executive for Harrison Sinclair, to remind those of you who have just caught up.
And that is Miss Copperfield, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'll probably start heading over towards her because since she's the only one who's kind of acting out of the ordinary to this whole situation, probably start heading towards her.
So in the meantime, you'll notice that, pardon me, Gerald takes control of the situation, and he says, excuse me, the party has concluded. I see no reason to continue this further. We will, of course, accept donations for the rest of the week to save the manor. I will... you will be in the know. Thank God that we have a member of the paper here. Please head to him should you wish to give him a statement about what you saw today, as well as our lovely detective, Harry. So thank you so much, and we will see you next week. He tends to throw a party about once a week.
Aha, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a partier.
New to town, so.
Right, no, it's fair.
yeah,
it's fair.
yeah.
I just will say from the chatter, everyone's
Yeah.
like, yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So as he finishes up that announcement, I'm going to kind of brush off anyone gently that is approaching me after he says, I was like, I will get to you in a moment. I need to talk to Mr. Waterford really quick.
Okay.
And I'm going to come up to him. It's like, Mr. Waterford.
Yes, of course, you feel free to take your glass. I will buy another one. Well, yes, can I help you?
Yes, of course. Just so you know, as you probably saw, the dagger, which I assume was the one that was displayed up on your wall, was used to hurt Mr. Cardiano.
Yes, my ornamental dagger, yes.
Yes. Because it was used in a crime, and it may have larger connections, just since it was currently in the possession of the person that we currently have under arrest for the murder of the mayor, we are going to take it as evidence, and we will do our best to return it to you in the future, but I cannot guarantee when that would be. Just
It's fine. Take a week, a year, 100 years. I don't care. Just take it. I don't want it right now.
Okay.
It's fine. It'll come back. I'm sure. It's fine.
Okay. If you please stay in town over the next few days, just in case we have any other questions, and we may have questions about guests here that were invited. So please don't leave town anytime in the next few days.
Fine. I just before you go, wouldn't mind leaving a statement of my own.
Okay, that's fine. I'll pull out a notebook and
Yeah.
yes.
He says, the manor must seem to have some importance if it's worth killing for.
Okay. The manor must have some importance to be worth killing for.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Mr. Waterford. Like I said, please do not leave town. We may have more questions.
Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
It's going to be busy. Paperwork.
Okay. Catherine, what are you doing?
I would like to turn to my grandmother and ask her if she's, and say, well, that's a eventful night to come back to. And are you shocked?
I mean, who wouldn't be shocked? I don't know this Sammy at all. Why would you stab at him? I believe that, finally, we can make a move on Somers. The father is no longer involved, it seems.
A move how? Or on what?
I can see you're in shock. I will talk to you at home. Do you have a ride, or will you be coming with me?
I'll just come with you.
All right. She continues saying ultimately that your understanding is that she believes that your potential betrothal to Somers
I figured.
would
Okay.
lead to a more beneficial transaction than the
No.
Van Pelts to the Somers family.
Right.
Not to get all Game of Thrones on you, but that's just kind of what the vibe is there.
Got it.
All right. Does anybody else do anything of note before the party concludes and you head outside? Oh, you were heading to someone, I believe, right? Not to interrupt your action.
Copperfield, yes.
Yes. You can talk to her after.
I was just gonna say, grab Lilith and get out quick.
Okay. You grab Lilith. You grab the boys on the way out.
Yeah.
You guys hop in. Do you have a vehicle?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I think
Yeah.
you guys took a car, and you head out.
Oh.
Huh?
We had a taxi that Lilith persuaded us to.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. You did have a taxi. You go outside. The driver is still there.
Great.
It's the 20s. It's not that kind of a
Yep.
thing. And you go.
I go up to Miss Copperfield and I go, well, that was quite the change of events for the evening, wasn't it?
No statement. She's writing something on a piece of paper.
She is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's got like a big old like pen, like a nice pen, and
Yeah.
then she's like writing on a paper. She's like looking around and
don't-
making notes now.
Okay. This is not D&D, so I don't know how I do this.
Just tell me what you want to do.
Is there any way I'd be able to like even get a glimpse of what she would be writing?
Act under pressure.
Act under pressure?
Roll plus cool.
Okay. Oh, okay, not that bad. Okay. That would be a 7.
Okay. I'm going to give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay.
Uh-huh.
Which means I'm opting to this case give you a worse outcome. I'm going to tell you exactly what she's writing down,
Okay.
but I'm going to react. So you are talking to her, and of course you pull out your pen and paper you already have a pen and paper out.
Yeah.
And so you just start to you're writing, and I don't know if you've ever been on a train of thought when you're actually talking to someone who interrupts you, and then you start saying what they're saying. I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but I do that, which is like, we're having a conversation, and you're like, yeah, but and then I'm like, yeah, but, wah, and you just like get in my way. The same thing happens when you're writing. You're writing something, you're writing kind of your own thing, just trying to take it in, that double brain, hand to head as you're taking it in as a news person would. But of course, then you catch a glimpse of what she's writing. She's not potentially hiding it, but you're just looking, and then all of a sudden you start writing down. This is your bad outcome. You all of a sudden start writing down exactly what she is writing. Now, what she is writing is she's making a note of everyone and the order that they're leaving. And she looks up at you, rips her paper, hands it to you, and you see underneath is the list. She had like a double paper thing she was writing down.
Oh, she had carbon copy sheets.
Mhm.
Okay.
And she hands you one and goes, no statement, and just walks away.
Did
So
they
yeah,
have-
your conversation ends
Yep.
prematurely,
Yep.
but you did get what you were asking for.
Yep. Right.
All right, so the party winds down to a close as you all step out into the late evening and you go your separate ways. I'm going to go in a circle here. We're just going to figure out what the rest of your night looks like. If there's a roll required, you will each get one. But that's what we're going to do until we get to the next morning. So you head with Grandma Elwood, Ruth, and you head to the manor. Very quick ride. Not far at all, right? You're all kind of in the same neighborhood. The greenery between each of these locations. It's beautiful, it's scenic, but it's night, and you can barely make out what's in front of you other than the headlights of your probably newer model vehicle. Your grandmother is just going on and on about how wonderful this party was, and finally some entertainment that is worth talking about. She'll be talking about this with her friends, and she's so excited to have tea tomorrow because of all of the things she'll be able to share with her less fortunate friendships. And so she's just going on, and she even repeats details of like, oh, and this, and oh, I wish that punch had killed poor Julian, because at least then she could get a glimpse of something. You know, she's just very like she's very interested in dead people. I'm gonna make that obvious. But she's going on and on about how the party was wonderful, and she enjoyed it. Do you interrupt her at all? Ask any additional questions before you will ultimately get into your house and get ready for bed?
Yeah, I would like to interrupt her and ask her about the Three Lanterns bookstore, and say like if it would be open tomorrow, or actually, let me rephrase that. Have you gone to the Three Lanterns bookstore at all?
I want you to roll to manipulate someone.
Okay.
As you're getting because you're a psychological oriented individual, you're looking into how she's speaking, and you're noticing that if you ask this question, it's going to interrupt her flow of excitement, and you're going to put her in a mood that you're not sure if it's the right call given how excited she is about what you're asking. So you work into the conversation being clever and good at psychology and good at psychiatric kind of conversations, you being a learned person. What did you roll?
An 8.
An 8 to manipulate someone. That being, she says yes. So there's going to be a cost. As you ask her this question, you say, "Will the Three Lanterns bookstore be open tomorrow?" Was that the question? Yes. She then says, "Why do you want to know?"
I would like to go check it out tomorrow. I would like to grab some new books.
Do you know where it is?
No.
So you're asking me to tell you where it is.
Yes.
Fine, but you'll need to pick something up for me when you're there.
Sure.
Yes, I need. And she says, she kind of like trails off and reaches over up into the kind of right side driver's seat as your driver's up there. She reaches over there and grabs his pen and paper, rips off a corner, and just writes it's a rare flower she's looking for.
Okay.
I don't have the exact phraseology off the top of my head, but she's looking for a rare flower of some kind. And potentially it would be found at the Three Lanterns.
Okay.
And she wants you to pick it up for her.
Okay.
And so she tells you and then writes down the address of the Three Lanterns bookstore on the other side.
Okay.
And hands you that paper.
Well, thank you. I will be doing that tomorrow at some point.
If he gives you trouble, sorry, I need that flower. And then she gets out of the car.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
What do you do?
So I assume that I'm getting a ride back with Captain Strongwell, since we came together and
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah.
He's out there, and he's just like sitting in the front seat, writing some things down on a clipboard.
Yeah.
Basically filling out the first half of the report.
Right.
And you see Julian is in the back, his face kind of like pressed up against the window, like, and just like asleep. And you can also
Knocked
see
out.
this like where he's leaning up against. You can see this forming like green purple like circle that's kind of encroaching on his eye, but like mainly his cheekbone to his mouth is like real swollen.
Gotcha.
I assumed it was a right hook.
Hey, Chief. He's gonna have a nice shiner there tomorrow.
Yep.
All right. I let Mr. Waterford know that we'll be taking the dagger as evidence, and he seemed okay with it. Didn't put up a fuss. So, unless you have some reason to stay, I think we're good to go.
Let me see. Do I have a reason to stay? Oh, shoot, yes. And he opens up the car door, grabs an envelope, from the right seat that you were sitting in. Actually, he grabs it kind of from the glove compartment, pulls it out, shuts the little compartment with the little steel kind of curved handle, and grabs that envelope and just kind of hands you the clipboard and says, "Finish this up." And he walks over as you see Elias Firestone stepping out of the front door of the manor, and he walks over, hands him this, nods. You don't hear the conversation. There's very little talking that you can make out amidst all of the hubbub of people walking outside. But that exchange is made, and then he comes back and goes, "Yep, we're good to go," and then takes the clipboard back from you and hops in.
Gotcha. What was that, sir?
Above your pay grade. Let's head out.
All right. So, and then I assume that just for a little bit we'll just kind of drive in silence, and I'll be like, so Captain, what are your thoughts on all of this? Does this usually happen here?
Nope. Normally there is far more fun than that.
This wasn't fun?
Nope.
Okay.
Unless you want to fill out all the paperwork. It wasn't fun.
Hey, technically, I'm a private detective in a case-by-case basis, so
Sure.
I'm gonna let you do all the paperwork. I mean, you know how your forms are done, and I'm still new. I'm still learning. So yeah, just kind of work.
Hold on. Why don't you roll to manipulate someone? I'm not letting that go.
That was a lot of smooth talking right there.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
8.
And then with its charm, right?
Yep.
Yep. So 9.
9. 7 to 9. There is a cost. He looks at you and he says, "All right, fine. I'll do the paperwork. You check in with the Accardianos tomorrow."
Yes, sir.
Thank you much.
Hey, Chief, just something totally not related to the case. I heard several people at the party talk about a bookstore in town. I think it's the Two Lanterns bookstore.
Not familiar with it. Why?
Oh, nothing. I heard several people talk about it, and just trying to get an idea of what the town's like. And I'm always down for a good book.
Book? Oh, here. You'll want to talk to the janitor. He knows all about books and keeps trying to ask me to read more. I don't care. Just talk to him. I don't remember his name. I think I don't know.
What's his reading taste?
Weird, eclectic, strange.
Okay. But you don't know of any other bookstores other than this Lantern?
You could go to the Harborview Library.
Okay.
But,
All right, gotcha. Thanks.
And he grabs Julian, takes him inside, and you go over to your temporary vehicle and drive to your place where you live. Okay. I'm assuming you go to bed and all the jazz. Or do you want to do anything late up at night before you?
Well, I was trying to figure out where the Three Lanterns bookstore was.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'll just say, you go inside. You are going to basically put away your things in your office. You go inside. You put kind of things away. You organize your files.
File the dagger into evidence.
File the dagger into evidence. You take it. You put it in a bag. You tie it. You seal it up, and then you put it away. And mind you, this is the 20s. It's not like you're picturing like a clear, perfect, crisp bag. It's like it's
brown paper bag.
It's a full-on burlap bag, and you just sack that thing up and you put it into a locker, and it's all in its area. You walk into your desk. It's wood aroma reminds you of the work that you have to do here in town, and it's not a late night for you. The paperwork that you have to do is not nearly as much as now your chief was doing on your behalf, but you do file those things away. Now, you recall that you were given a series of records, and those series of records are somewhere in your office. You look around, it keeps you up for an additional hour, but eventually you do find a record of all the business locations in town. You're looking through, you're like, 1, 2, T, 2 lanterns, 2, 3. There's 3 lantern bookstore. There it is. And you find it and you look and you're like, okay, because obviously this would be something that would be typed up. However, because this is an old enough town, it's actually a handwritten record. And so you're going through and you're finding these businesses that have been around for a while, many of them scratched off, and you're double checking with the new typewritten records, and you're seeing that Three Lanterns is not on your typewritten records, but it is on your old written records. And you find an address, and you are able to go there eventually, should that address prove truthful.
Right.
Okay. And then you pack up your stuff, grab your super cool messenger bag, and head out. All right.
They're cool.
I agree. I don't think messenger bags are bad. They're incredibly professional nowadays. All right.
I'm standing at the bottom of the stairs, watching to see who kind of lingers around and leaves last from the party. And trying to, I'm going to use my third question. I'm going to try and listen in and see what other people's plans are for the evening. See if there's anything that seems out of the ordinary on what, like, I figure most people are going home. What people seem to be, like, going to continue the evening. What people are up to afterward.
Okay. So you're seeing, if you remember, there were donations that were being made, and then there were things that were given out.
Yes.
There were bottles of liquor that were given out to the people who donated above a certain threshold.
Yes.
And those people said that they are saying that they did not get enough of this evening's festivities and are going to head back to their abodes and continue with the partying. Now, nobody's going to like throw on another rager here in this late evening. It is approximately, it's after 10 at this point, and probably well approaching midnight. I don't know if you guys know, but in the 20s, people stayed up far later than they do now because the work week was just slightly different.
Yep.
But the people that are doing that are those people. But I feel like that wasn't enough of an answered question for you, because you're a news reporter. You're looking for some meat just to kind of wrap up or not necessarily meat. You're looking for a bun to wrap up your hamburger of a story here.
Yep.
And you find that a few people are making special notice of how Waterford handled the rest of the party, and they're appalled that he would shove them out into the evening. Normally, he allows some people to stay in some of his guest rooms, but he shoved everyone out this week. How rude. Even with the body, they're appalled by that thing. Now, you also, just to let you know, make note of Hastings waiting outside for a vehicle that arrives to take out the body.
Yeah.
Just because I'm assuming you're going to just stay for a while. You also see that they take the body out, put it in not a hearse, but like a hospital vehicle, and transport the Peter Somers. In addition, with that, Arthur doesn't go to the hospital. He signs a paper with the hospital and then heads home.
Okay. And then I believe I took a cab up there as well.
Sure. I'll say that with your cab decision making, you do get transport back to your abode.
Well, actually, I'm not even going to head to my abode. I'm going to ask the cab driver instead to... I'm going to say, I feel like some late night reading. Do you know of a bookstore I can go to?
So this location exists because of you.
Yes.
So you're already familiar with this location.
Okay, in that case, then I go ahead and just...
You've been only once.
Yes.
And just had a chance to look around. You've never met the proprietor of the establishment.
Okay.
But you do recall this location, having done some light reading on the subjects within.
Yes.
So you do have already the location. Do you want to just direct him exactly there right now?
Yes.
Okay, so before they all will get a chance, you are going to go.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut to a Cardiano.
Yep.
So because that's pretty substantial. All right. So Sammy, What do you do in the evening? You already told me that you headed home, so I'm going to assume that continued. Do we do anything else in your hotel room?
On the way back.
Okay, sure.
Driver, take us to the bookstore before the hotel. I want to see the path from the bookstore to the hotel.
Yeah. What bookstore?
The Three Lanterns.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. He just no roll necessary. Has no clue about the Three Lanterns bookstore. I'm sorry, that's just not a well-requested place. Not familiar with the. Not familiar with it. Sorry.
All right, that's all right. Thank you for being honest with me.
All right, to the hotel.
Yeah. Thank
All right.
you.
Sure. And he goes to the hotel, and you guys are let out.
Do I see anything on the way to the hotel that might look like the Three Lanterns bookstore? That maybe is like it's like not a well marketed place, and not a.
So your
signage.
location in town is a very high end location, right? Because you're in the Sinclair Promenade, which is the newly developed side of town that's very well built. And you find that location to be void of any retail such as what you're looking for. Now, as far as things that are off, go ahead and read a bad situation.
Seven.
All right.
Yep.
So
Seven.
you get a question, but I'm going to let you ask one random question should you want that is similar to the read a bad situation.
As a kind of, what's the best way for me to get to the bookstore? Should I walk? Should I take a cab?
That's a great question.
morning?
What's my best way in is your question. Then he responds, so you guys get to the hotel. I'll narrate through this. You guys get to the hotel and you find that Lilith turns around as you kind of like close the door, grab the boys, get all the stuff from the that was from the party. I'm assuming you made a donation. No, yes.
Yeah, small. But
Sure, you made a donation. You grab a few bottles of what you grabbed or what you got, and she leans over the window towards the driver, revealing a moderate amount of cleavage, and kind of like says, "Yeah, okay, I'll see you later, honey." And she turns around and goes, "Not gonna see him." I'm not gonna see him later. She mouths, and then walks over to you, and he goes, "Hey, hold on, wait." And she's like, "Huh?" And he goes, I'll come by tomorrow morning. I'll see if I can figure out where the bookstore was. I can't promise anything, but I may have some information." And she goes, "Yeah, okay, sure, we'll see." So your read situation allows for that.
Great. We'll go inside. Follow my fiance.
All right, so we're going to cut to Charlie Stearns. Charlie Stearns knows exactly where the Three Lantern bookstore is. He takes the simple path into the Market District. He heads on over in that direction, passes the fishmonger's plants, some of the fish merchant locations, the grocery store, local shops is where he finds himself. Nearby, of course, the Sportsman's Foundry, an interesting location as well. But he sees local shop owners would be selling their goods, whether it be refreshments, whether it be clothing, retail, all those things, a diverse range of products. But of course, there is a small location here that is, to call it a hole in the wall would be to give it too much glory, too much presence here. It is a thin location between several buildings. It's almost as if somebody had built the locations and then decided, we should probably finish it out. So it would be a room-wide building that is just kind of awkwardly between these two structures. Anyway, there's a bell hanging over, and that bell is in the shape of a lantern. But it's not like a lantern itself. And then you see the windows are on the front. Basically, imagine a doorway and then like a big wide window on the side that you would potentially shop. And you look inside to see if there's anything. However, it's been red curtained, closed. You can't see anything that's going on. There is a closed sign that is kind of rotated. However, you know that that's not the case. And then you see the storefront closed before you.
I go ahead and go up and I kind of look around and I ring the bell. Like, I don't just ring it crazy. I get up close so I can control the clangor, and I tap the bell 3 times sharply.
Yep. And all of a sudden it goes ding, ding, ding. And then you wait. And then you sort of hear on the other end of the doorway, knock, knock, knock.
And I lean up to the door and I speak to the glass. In every reflection, a secret lies.
Very almost immediately, you hear a series of unlocking devices. Ding. The door kind of swings inward.
And I proceed inward.
So as you push your way inward, you see a vintage-style bookstore. It's set up in such a way that would lead you to believe that it is regularly exchanged with new books. However, every book on the shelf seems to be vintage. Right? Like, this person takes time to put out what's important, maybe on a week-by-week or a month-by-month basis. And it seems that the door itself has been opened on someone's behalf because no one is standing there. There is just the door that is opened up and a bunch of books. However, you look slightly to the left and there is a kind of a bar stool-esque space, but there is a little like cash register and yes, a series of bar stools. Yes, but that's not what it's intended for. You can see that there's kind of, I guess this would be a repurposed bar. Right? As bars are no longer useful in this society, we'll say, this person has made this place, this establishment, into a bookstore. Or have they? I don't know. But anyway, of course, on the desk is a single bell, like the type of handbell, right? Like, or what's the word? Like a little like hotels type bell.
Yep.
And it just says, ring for help.
And I go up and again tap 3 times.
So you step away from the door frame and it closes behind you. You go over there and you tap it 3 times, like you're saying.
Yep.
And how long do you wait before it becomes uncomfortable for you?
I mean, I'm a somewhat older guy that's worked in the press, so I'm used to having to wait for long periods of time. So I probably wait about 5 minutes of awkward silence, and then do another 3 taps.
Okay, so before you get to those 3 taps, I just was wondering, do you think you're the type of person to, because I don't know if about you, when I'm awkwardly standing somewhere,
he's perusing.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
He is most certainly, he's looking at books on the countertop and is like, like looking to see if there's materials that he hasn't read, or like.
I would like you to roll plus weird and tell me what you get.
Roll plus weird, okay. That is an 11.
An 11? That's tremendous. So you look around and you're just perusing and just something calls out to you. This like kind of purple book. It's not labeled. There's gold filigree on its outer edge, and it just sticks out to you to the point where you grab it, you open it, and you start to flip through the pages. And it's not off-putting to instantly find symbols and strange ritualistic practices so readily written in front of you. But you being no stranger to these types of arrangements, don't find it super strange. It's just, wow, this is out here in the front by the register. That's weird. That's the only thought that crosses your mind, just due to the strange, like, fear that most people have with this type of entertainment. Right? It'd be like finding a Ouija board in grandma's house. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why is this here? Right? So you look at it, it piques your interest, and it does lead you to believe that this person does have what you seek once more. You've been here once before, and they continue to stock the shelves with new material.
Yeah.
And eventually you do catch glimpse of someone behind the curtain that would let them into a back room. However, I don't know if you're remembering the space that you're in. There should not be a back room. Mm-hmm. This is a small room-sized area, and there is a doorway with a curtain in front of it, and there is someone who is making sound in the back room. Eventually, they they push themselves out through the curtain and emerge a top-hatted individual, not strange for the times, but someone who is clearly a few seasons old in their dress. Mm-hmm. Walks through. You see the tails that follow behind him in his vested chest as well. And he says, actually, I'll describe him better because he's fairly important. He has a mustache, as you would expect. He has a pair of glasses that are smaller than what would be natural. Mm-hmm. Just like he seems to be like little spectacles that sit just below his eyes, mm-hmm. And a watch chain like most men would have in this era, as well as, like I said, he's in tails, like an orchestra conductor with a top hat. Mm-hmm. His mustache is white. You see some age on this man. And he says, "Oh, hello. How are you? Can I help you?"
Potentially.
Who are you looking for?
I was invited to check out your store by Seeker of Deeper Truths.
Seeker of Deeper Truths. I have not sent that letter yet. Hold on. And he writes down what you said, and he said, "Okay, I'll make sure that letter gets sent sometime. When did you receive that letter?"
Earlier this morning in my office.
Were you looking at your stopwatch? Do you have an exact time?
Do I know the exact time?
Sure.
Okay. I give him the time.
Okay, I'll make sure it pops into your field of view yesterday around that time. Seeker of Truths is not in. He'll be in tomorrow morning. We are currently closed.
Well, in the meantime, have you recently had any new materials come in on daggers?
Daggers? May I ask what for?
I happened to see one at a party this evening that piqued my interest, and I was wanting to see if you might have any information that might connect this dagger to some goings on that happened today.
Strange. Today's date, and he looks over at a calendar on the wall, and he goes, we are days away from the centennial. We will be getting something new around then. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I look forward to returning in the future. And I'm still holding that purple book, and I just kind of look at him and I just go, Mind if I borrow this for the evening?
We are closed.
I just put it down. And I'm like, all right.
Your card, is it? I believe it's out of date.
My card.
Hold on. Oh, nope. Sorry, I give that to you tomorrow.
I just kind of shake my head because even though I've been around this kind of stuff before, it's still just is hard to conceptualize. And I'm like, okay, well, I will swing by to pick that up tomorrow then.
Yes, I need to make sure that yesterday I write down that you're coming today.
That would be wise. And I just nod to him, give him say good evening, and begin to head back towards the door.
Before you go, I will make sure that your passphrase also applies to tomorrow.
Much obliged.
Tell the rest of them never mind. Tomorrow.
And I just kind of peek an eyebrow up and like, I'll be sure to notify them, and walk out the door.
All right. So you head back to... Did not expect you to go tonight, truly told. But I'm glad the contingencies are in place. So you head to your abode, and the night concludes. All right. You all wake up in your respective locations. Before you do what I expect you to do, now that your curiosity is piqued, what do you do?
Breakfast of cold coffee, eggs, and an apple.
Okay.
Continental breakfast at the hotel.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I am going to go out from my apartment, just kind of walk around, see what there is to see, and find some place to have breakfast.
Yeah, you head over to kind of the
That's a
market district,
good PI thing to do.
And I'll say there's a coffee and donut shop nearby the station that you find regular attendees matching your uniforms, and not yours particularly, but you get what I mean. And you find them walking out, and you walk in and get your breakfast in the morning. But Elwood, Catherine, do you do anything as well?
Yeah, I'll come out of the room and see. I'm assuming we have a cook or a butler that is cooking.
You do indeed.
And so I'll go out and have breakfast with maybe Ruth if she's awake at the time.
Yes, you see Ruth is already out dressed and ready to go. And she's well adorned in what her outfit would be for the day. However, not nearly as well dressed as yesterday. But you do see that you coming out in a we'll say like a silk robe is not off-putting to her. She doesn't react poorly. She actually in fact says, "Oh, I've took the liberty of ordering a spread for you." And you just see that there are too many choices, like to the point where like, oh man, I don't know what to get. There's all kinds of flavors. All I want is chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. This is ridiculous, right? It's a smorgasbord of too many food options for two women to eat right now. But it is before you. I'm assuming you eat.
Oh yeah, I'll eat.
Eventually, you find yourself making a decision as your stomach growls after the late night of some food, but enough that you were not able to really get a grasp on all the food. It's just the party didn't last that long. And I'm assuming you head somewhere?
Yeah, then I'll head out towards the address that she gave me for the bookstore.
All right, so you head over to where you're going. Funnily enough, you head on over and head over to the garages. And you open up the garage door, and you are let in, and you see that there's a man sitting there over there at a desk, and he stands up and says, "Oh, hello. Do you need to go somewhere, Miss Elwood?"
Yes, here's this address. I hand him part of that paper, or I would just read him that address that she had given me. So I'll keep the paper.
Oh, we're headed outside of town.
Yes.
All right. Fine. We'll head on over to Clawhaven Bay and we'll be all right.
Okay.
All right. So you head on over outside of town, and you head. Are you going to the same place? Are you
Me?
going to the yeah?
No, I was gonna check in with the chief
Okay. So
first.
all right. So you check in with the chief. What do you want to know?
I'd just be like, "Hey, chief, how's Mr. Van Pelt doing this morning?"
Oh well, I guess we're gonna find out next week.
Next week? What do you
Or
mean?
2 weeks from now.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. We're just getting right up to that time. So I hope you're equally as curious to find out what that strange thing meant. So we'll see you here in 2 weeks here on Whispers of Old Harbor and Roll to 1. Peace.